Fake TV Box is a recorded production of QuickNet from iQuami.com studios at 144 Studios, New York City. Additional help provided by Adobe, supporting all with limitless creativity in graphics, illustration, and videography. The innovative world of Apple, Shure apps and products for audio functions, and by contributions to this YouTube channel from QuickNetters like you. Thank you. Hey there, QuickNetters. Welcome. Welcome to Fake Tea Box. I'm Kwame Alexander. So glad you can join us on the show that spends as many minutes as it takes to talk crap about all the whack jobs and hot messes in the world today. We've got a great show for you, and it all kicks off with a song. If you have ever lived in the 1980s, well, you probably heard this particular song.
Should I stay or should I go? Should I stay or should I go now? Should I stay or should I go now? If I go, there will be.
So now you might be wondering, why did we decide to play that song? Well, it's because it symbolizes the current predicament of a certain media conglomerate that still hasn't given us a fifth season of Young Justice. Hello, Megan. How long are you gonna make us wait?
Warner Brothers Discovery will split itself into two individual publicly traded companies. The first, called Streaming and Studies, will center around the HBO Max service and Warner Brothers Studio. The second one, Global Networks, will be based around CNN and other TV networks.
Warner Brothers Discovery announced today that it is putting itself up for sale. The company, which owns CNN, HBO, and other streaming businesses and much more, previously had announced that it would split into two companies by the end of next year. But today, the company said it had received unsolicited interest from buyers for the entire company, as well as for Warner Brothers alone.
Oh, Warner Brothers. You love being in the news for all the wrong reasons, don't you? You merged with AOL in 2001, which led to the death of WCW. You were bought by AT&T in 2018, which led to the death of the DC Universe streaming service. And then you merged with Discovery in 2022, which led to the death of Batgirl starring Leslie Grace. A decision that makes me want to choke the living daylights out of you. Like if Bane were to snap Batman's back in two. Oh wait, he already did that.
I was wondering what would break first. Your spirit? Oh, your buddy!
Oof. Viewer discretion, I forgot to advise. But the point is, Warner Bros. Discovery has been in the news lately, and this time it's because they can't make up their mind on whether to split or sell. CNBC reported that Warner Bros. Discovery has received unsolicited takeover offers from major studios that want to buy it, and not only that, they plan to make an announcement on their future just before Christmas. So in this episode, we're going to discuss the scenario in which the company chooses to split and the scenario in which the company chooses to sell. So let's start with the scenario in which the company chooses to split. This past summer, Warner Bros. Discovery made the decision that they're going to take a page out of the playbook of Comcast. You may remember that we actually did an episode earlier this year talking about Comcast spinning off its NBC Universal Cable Networks into a new company called Versant. Sources believe that this move was made because, well, Comcast got sick and tired of being the mommy and daddy of cable networks who haven't changed into diapers of success. Furthermore, the move has allowed Comcast to focus more on future growth for the divisions in network broadcasting, news media, streaming, and theme parks. They must think so highly of these divisions that they'll change their diapers in a heartbeat. Meanwhile, Versant has decided to change the name of one of their children to something even more embarrassing. But of course, this is the strategy Warner Bros. Discovery has in mind, and they believe it could be done by spring of 2026. You'd have Warner Bros. Keeping their name and film and TV libraries while obtaining the studio and streaming divisions, including the rebranded HBO Max. HBO Max, the one to watch that's hard to watch because it can't even stick to a permanent name. Then there would be Discovery Global, in charge of all the linear TV brands including CNN, TNT, TBS, and Discovery Channel. And they would also have control of the streaming service Discovery Plus. That is definitely major. The way that these two new companies would both get a streaming service after splitting up. It's like settling a divorce on the Oprah Winfrey Show. You get a streaming service, you get a streaming service, and that's all the streaming service we have for you today, folks. In the end, a company split seems like the best option for WDB, for the streaming and studio business can grow independently, while the traditional network division can operate separately. But ultimately, a split will serve as a response to shifts in consumers' habits of going from traditional cable to streaming. And truth be told, it's only a matter of time before streaming gets replaced with quantum portal file sticks that let you live inside of a TV show or movie. But don't tell President Obama, they don't exist yet. Oh man, just look at this picture of Obama wearing VR goggles. They're not the best fit for him. Well, moving on, we're now going to discuss the idea of Warner Bros. Discovery putting itself up for sale. And based on every bit of info that Fake TV Box and QuickNet have gathered, it seems like everybody wants what they have. You could say that WDB is literally stuck in the dinner buffet line, and not because they can't choose any food, but because the food is choosing them.
From your perspective, you're hearing more that the insiders would like it as a whole sold, or would they like it sold for parts and to different players?
Depends on who the bidder is. I mean, Paramount Skydance clearly wants the whole thing. They're happy to take the cable networks that would fit in with their portfolio and give them additional scale. But if you're talking about Netflix, they have no interest in the cable networks. They just want, the studios business, the library, the HBO Max side of things. Comcast, you could see maybe going either way, but really they want the studio, the library, in terms of scale, getting their streaming business, Peacock. I think they're worried that if they don't do a big transaction like this, it's going to be very difficult to keep up with Netflix and Amazon in the years ahead.
Let's see. First it was Paramount, then Netflix, and then Comcast. So is Disney next to make an offer? What about Sony? Or maybe even Melissa M Creates? Which, in case you don't know, is an independent production company founded by one of my best friends. And I hope that one day our company, QuickNet Productions, can collaborate on a project with Melissa M Creates, and maybe that project could be our Winston short film, Roadie New York. Please donate funding now. Anyway, when you look at the companies that have or have not yet made an offer to buy WDB and all of its assets, how can you blame them for even thinking about exploring a bid? Paramount has offered 3 times to buy Warner Brothers, but they've been rejected 3 times over. 3 times over? Obviously, somebody doesn't want to see Batman vs. SpongeBob. I mean, such a crossover is just as funny as the fact that Netflix creates its own original content but doesn't own its own film studios. The Wrap has pointed out Netflix's reluctance to embrace the theatrical model for its original films, and to say that Netflix is ready to own its own film studio now is like your mom telling you you're ready to own her car after she dies, but clearly your driving sucks. According to insiders, Comcast is hiring bankers to explore a bid for the studio and streaming access at WDB, which by the way includes one particular franchise, Harry Potter. Seeing as how Comcast already owns the theme park rights to the Wizarding World, we might actually have a winner on who buys Warner Brothers. That is, as long as there's no group of people that goes on record saying that they will block any potential merger between Warner Brothers and any other studio because they believe it would be a disaster.
The Writers Guild of America is saying that Warner Brothers merger would be disastrous. Combining Warner Brothers with Paramount or another major studio or streamer would be a disaster for writers, for consumers, and for competition. The WGA West and the WGA East will work with regulators to block the merger.
Oh, son of a gun! Man, it's amazing how you can go from supporting the WGA and the 148-day strike meant to get fair pay for writers everywhere to criticizing the WGA for trying to interfere with a Batman vs. SpongeBob crossover. But as they say in the Hollywood business, sometimes stuff happens. Before we go, let me tell you a little secret. This episode about Warner Bros. Discovery has gone through a lot of changes. At first, it looked like we were just going to talk about the company splitting into two, and then for a moment, it looked like we were just going to cover who wants to buy Warner Bros. Discovery. In the end, we decided to do both stories, and let me go on record saying that I have no idea what the heck Warner Bros. Discovery is going to do with themselves. It's going to be thinking about the lyrics to the song we played earlier, but with different words. Should I split or should I sell?
There is a third option.
There is?
Yes, it involves murder.
Dang, I didn't know the Cat in the House was so dark. Alright, that's our show. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and share everything right here on QuickNet, as well as showing your support by hitting the subscribe button. Follow us on social media through Instagram, Facebook, Threads, the site formerly known as Twitter, TikTok, and Blue Sky. Last but not least, please consider donating to QuickNet Productions indie short film, Roadie, New York. To do so, click on the link to GoFundMe.com located in the description box of this episode, and I'll see you next time on Fake TV Box with Kwame Alexander.